Check this out. Some states telling you can't even have plants, shrubs, trees in your own yard now. And you have to take down your wooden fences on your own property. Also getting sent this, 3 out of the 6 largest VPN companies are owned and operated by Israeli company, founded and led by former Israeli spies. Right along those same lines, someone just found out that every Samsung phone post 2022 has an Israeli app called App Cloud, whose only purpose is to provide a backdoor into your device. It installs apps without your permission. It cannot be deactivated or uninstalled. Have you heard about that? And there's a new movie out that you guys might want to watch called Climate Trails. You know the lines in the sky? I've got people from our community writing in, this is a must watch. And for those of you in some states, including California, get ready to be paying more in your taxes for gas. Also, get ready for them to strap down on what you get to hear on news media. Pentagon reporters are told that it must be approved before they let the information out. And apparently it's true. People in Michigan, and I'm guessing more states to come, are forced to listen to 5 times a day Muslim call to prayer blasted throughout the city. How does this happen in America, right? And get this, if you guys want to get a job in the healthcare industry especially, you might want to scrub all of your social media, because if you even tend to lean to a side that they don't agree with, you ain't getting a job. And on the food front, we've got seafood that's getting recalled with contamination concerns. And we've also got bread products, including cinnamon rolls, being pulled from shelves. This is all important information the community's been sending to me to share with you. So let's dive right in. Hey guys, my name is Cohen here at Riverside Homestead, and if you're brand new here, welcome. And if you guys are into prepping tips, emergency preparedness, and most important, news and awareness that affects you, be sure to start this video off with a like, hit that notification bell so you guys can stay up to date, and let's begin. All right guys, again, start this off with a like. It lets me know that you guys like getting information that is pertinent and keeps you guys aware. For starters, we don't like it when they take away our rights, privileges, and freedoms, right? Well, we've got Governor Newsom executive orders focusing on reducing wildfire risks by requiring removal of flammable plants near homes in high-risk areas, while also protecting native vegetation and also promoting biodiversity in California. Now, didn't we cover this a while back, saying that they should have had more of a water issue resolved? But instead, what they're gonna do is tell you can't have any plants, can't have any fences. Check it out, Governor Gavin Newsom has issued several executive orders related to the wildfire prevention and environmental protection in California. Contrary to the claim that he has issued an order to get rid of plants, his actions are more announced and aimed towards enhancing public safety and conserving natural ecosystems. Now, the speculation on this is, you read the fine print, it says you can't have anything close to your home. And it also eliminates the fact that they aren't gonna do their job on creating a safer perimeter around residential areas, including getting water where water needs to be. I'm telling you, the speculation here dives deep into more control over what you can and can't do with your own property. So he's saying, in response to the devastating wildfires, Newsom signed an executive order and directs state agency to implement regulations requiring homeowners in fire-prone areas to clear combustible vegetation such as dead plants, brush, wooden furniture, and mulch within 5 feet of their homes. This is considered the zero zone, ember resistant zone, and designed to keep things from the home and igniting. Now, if you look this up like I did, kind of hitting it from both sides, it says it does not ban all plants. But if you look into the small print, people are saying it does govern just about anything around your home. You can't have it then. Listen to what people are saying.
One of my friends has told me about this last evening, that they all got notice of this, that they can't have any plants, bushes within 5 feet of the house, can't have any wooden fencing, and if they do have fencing, like you can't have 5 foot from fencing that you do have, and She says, we have a small lot, and she said, this leaves no room for a garden. It's absolutely ridiculous because they're in zone, what did she say, zone 0 or something, because of fire danger and stuff. Just absolutely ridiculous.
So people are being told they can't have anything there. They can't even grow a garden. And I had no idea about this. This is getting sent to me by a couple people. 3 of the 6 largest VPN companies are owned and operated by Israeli companies, founded by and led by former Israeli spies, is what's being said. Is your VPN affected, is the question. Right here you can see it. Cape Technologies controls much of the online privacy marketing, including ExpressVPN, CyberGhost, Private Internet Access, ZenMate, Intego Antivirus, and a host of other tech websites that promote its products. So they're saying incredibly shady business. You guys might want to look into that one. Along the same lines, from the same person, just found out that every Samsung phone post after 2022 has an Israeli app called AppCloud, whose only purpose is to provide a backdoor into your device. It installs apps without your permission. It cannot be deactivated or uninstalled, is what they're saying. Check it out.
I just said this in another meeting, and they said, oh, Israel is isolated. Israel can't break out of the siege. And I said, we will. Some of them have stopped weapon component shipments. Can we get out of this? Yes, we can. We're pretty good at producing weapons. Like intelligence, we share both with the United States. A good chunk of your intel. And our weapon systems, we share with the United States. We're tremendously appreciative of the bipartisan support in military matters to Israel in previous years and today as well. But do you have cell phones? You have cell phones here? No? You're holding a piece of Israel right there. You know that? I mean, a lot of the cell phones, the medicines, the foods, you eat cherry tomatoes. You know where that was made? I don't like cherry tomatoes, but it's an Israeli. What can I do? It's an Israeli product, as are so many other things. And I think this serves the betterment for the betterment of all mankind and womankind. I think that is Israel's unknown contribution. But we can make things, we can produce things. We cherish the fact that we have the constancy of American support despite the attempts to erode it. And we'll continue to work to make sure that that continues on both sides of the aisle. It's very important for us. But equally, we will eventually create the independence that we need so those in Western Europe who think they can deny us things will not succeed. We can break this siege, and we will.
Interesting, right? Now, people are promoting this video, especially in our community. You guys have seen The Lines in the Sky. There's a new documentary out. I haven't seen it yet. I'm putting it on my list. Real quick, a new must-watch documentary is available now via climatetrails.com. So go to climatetrails.com. It says you will soon be able to see it on Amazon Prime. So if you guys want to catch a preview of that, it's climatetrails.com. There's no association there. Just people recommending it from our community. It says that the more information that we have on geoengineering, the better we can counter the propaganda narrative that is attempting to silence the truth. Many thanks to a few people there. People chiming in saying, when will the assault be stopped? This person says, I sold parts made with nanotechnology in 2012. Once I found out the true reality of how dangerous nanotech is, I abandoned it. Nothing stops it, nothing. People are starting to give them terms. Like when you see it in the morning, they're calling it a chem morning, another chem morning over Erie. Every time I look up in the sky, I see these evil streaks in the sky. People say, spread this video far and wide. Like I said, you guys share it with me, I share it with the world. And I can tell you a lot of the people from the community are saying this is a must watch. And remember guys, it always starts in California. So people that are watching in, we've got quite a few good people in California that tune into us. California Democrats secretly just slipped in a mileage tax into the budget bill, hoping residents won't notice. Did you guys notice? That's right, starts here, probably end up in your state, so keep an eye out for this. It comes from the Budget Bill Assembly Bill 130, and they slid in a mileage tax, but they call it a vehicle mileage tax, a VMT. So look for VMT. You as a driver are not going to be charged the mileage tax directly. They're going to start increasing the cost of housing in California. They're basically saying that the houses create drivers, and the drivers therefore should be paying for it. Dirty dogs, right?
Politicians in Sacramento are not just about raising your gas tax. They have a mileage tax scheme. They want to track the number of miles that you drive and then tax you per mile. Oh, I know, per mile. It comes in the form of a budget bill, Assembly Bill 130, and they slid in a mileage tax, but they call it a vehicle mileage tax, a VMT. You as a driver are not going to be charged the mileage tax directly. They're going to start increasing the cost of housing in California by charging every developer who builds a house or a housing project a mileage tax. What they're basically saying is that houses create drivers, and drivers therefore should be paying for it, but we really don't have the guts now that people like DeMaio are out there causing a ruckus about the direct approach to a mileage tax. What if we hit it in their mortgage payment? Do you understand how dishonest, sneaky, corrupt these politicians are? Are you seeing it now? They don't want you to know that they're robbing you blind.
What I always say, dirty dogs. Also getting reports that the news that you get to hear, again, might be kind of shadowed because breaking news says Pentagon reporters were told they must not gather or report any information, even classified, unless it's explicitly approved for release. Those who refuse could lose their press credentials. Coming from WAPO. What do some of us refer to that as? Censored? So, we already know that we don't get a lot of the information, and it sounds like it might get a little bit worse. 3 more things I got to tell you about. 1, America is soon, probably more and more states, going to be forced to listen to Muslim prayer on loudspeaker 5 times a day. Also, you might not be able to get the job you're applying for, depending on what your socials are saying. And then a couple of really big food warnings. Here from Dearborn, Michigan, residents are posting that they're forced to listen 5 times a day, Muslim call to prayer blasted throughout the city. Just listen how loud it is. How is this allowed to even exist in America? Let's listen in. There's a reason why that video's got 2.8 million views just from the 19th. Insane, right? Look, I could go into the comments on this one. I'm sure you can imagine how passionate people are getting revolving around this. And this is the crazy thing. How does that make you guys feel? Put it in the comments down. Do you think that should be allowed? I've got a couple nasty comments saying that I need to be more conformable with different religions, thoughts, processes. And I feel like I fairly am. The last time I brought this up, I got a lot of hate mail. But here's the thing. I don't think anyone should be forced to listen over a loudspeaker as early as I think it was like 4 a.m. and as late as midnight. It was ridiculous times. I don't think anyone should be forced or smothered with anyone else's indoctrinations, beliefs, whatever, right? If they want to go behind closed doors and do whatever they do in the privacy of their space, that's that. But if I'm being woken up or if I have to hear it from inside my home 5 times a day, there's a problem. Anyway, this is probably something that gets under people's skin. So let me know in the comments how you guys feel about that. I reported on it a while ago, and now people are giving us video feed of this really happening in US cities. And for those of you that are trying to get a job in healthcare, check this out. Washington State healthcare industry hiring manager confirms that researching the social media accounts of new applicants and any applicants who have anything about conservative views, Republican views, right-leaning views are not hired. Check it out.
Hi, TikTok. I fear I've unraveled a mystery today that I need your help with. Let me start with a little bit of background for you. I live in Washington State. I own a home in Washington State. My elderly parents live with me. My adult children moved to Washington to be close to me, and both daughters are now married and have children. So my grandchildren are in Washington State. So for those reasons alone, I can't leave the state. But back in 2020, I lost my job as an ICU nurse because I refused to be vaccinated for COVID. I was a critical care RN for 22 years of my 25-year nursing career. Washington mandated that we be vaccinated, and what I didn't realize after I lost my job in the hospital was that I couldn't work anywhere as a nurse, not even remotely, if I wasn't vaccinated. So here goes some more fun stuff going down the rabbit hole. So I end up getting a job outside of the hospital as a director of human resources. After this past election, my boss came to me and said, "It's come to my attention that you voted for Trump." And I was shocked, to say the least. And I found out in Washington state, you can be fired for your political affiliation. They don't have to tell you that, but you can be fired without cause for any reason. And I was let go. That has now been 7 months ago, and I have since applied for 152 jobs, and I have had 2 interviews. So let's go to the mystery today. So one of those 2 job interviews was today, and it honestly went really well, at least until the hiring manager walked me to my car. And she was discussing next steps, things like that. And then she stopped when she read a patriotic decal on my vehicle. And she said, "You know, you might want to drive a different vehicle to job interviews." And I pressed her for why. And I know I'm not getting this job now anyway, just because of the change in her demeanor. And I'm not going to out the business because she was actually brave enough to tell me the truth. And she said, "You know, even if I hadn't seen your Patriot decals on your vehicle, after your interview, the next step we would do is go research all of your social media. And if we found anything about conservative views, Republican views, right-leaning views, we wouldn't hire you. So either scrub your social media, take off your decals, or don't plan on applying for any more jobs in Washington state." I was devastated. I have a bachelor's degree in healthcare administration. I was a critical care RN for 22 years. I am a good person. I was a great nurse. I am kind. I am hardworking. And all I'm asking for is a job. I'm not asking for a handout. I just want a job. But for the life of me, it was baffling me how I could apply for over 150 jobs that I'm being told I'm overqualified for, to be turned down. And lo and behold, it's the fact that I'm a conservative Christian. I need a job. I am 1 month away from foreclosure on my house. I'm not asking for anything other than advice. Where do I go? What do I do from here? And God willing, will anybody give a smart, kind, conservative woman a fucking job?
I can tell you right now, shouldn't have moved to Washington state. Trust me, I know all about that. Pretty crazy. Can't even believe it. I played the whole thing. It was a little bit long, but I felt like people need to hear that stuff. That's her personal story. That's what happened in her life. She ain't lying, and I've heard that type of story many times over. All right, coming in for a landing on a little bit of food awareness. We've got a cinnamon recall, 12 brands pulled for lead. Major cinnamon recall alert. The FDA just flagged 12 popular cinnamon brands for elevated lead levels. If you've bought cinnamon from stores like Dollar Tree, Save-A-Lot, Patel Brothers, or Euro Grocery, check your pantry ASAP. The FDA says it's not safe to eat. 12 brands, folks, 12 brands, that's a lot. And I would be concerned about the stuff that cinnamon's in, like cinnamon rolls, cinnamon toast crunch, cinnamon anything, right? But I don't suppose they're gonna tell you that. Lastly, for seafood lovers, nationwide fish recall issued after health risk uncovered. HAIFA Smoked Fish, based in New York, is recalling cold smoked salmon and cold smoked sea bass, according to Wednesday press release from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. They're saying it's another contamination involving listeria, a disease-causing bacteria. Anyway, there's 2 lots right there. Check your guys' freezer, fridge, and don't be picking that one up. I'll stop there. I know I went long, but it was all pertinent information to bring you guys a higher level of awareness. Thumbs up, share it out if you found value. Let me know what you think down in the comments about some of this stuff. And be sure to stay tuned because I got a lot more coming down the pipe. Keep prepping, keep learning, keep doing. We'll see you on the next one.